What's up, everyone? ZEFilms here with a video. Oh, I guess you quickly got to saw that splash screen. Today we're going to be going over the new rep that has made its way to Tribble for us to check out, and looks like everybody is here for the party. Holy crap! I'm going to be doing this video a little bit different. I thought about just doing a video where I talk through the blog. I thought that would be a little bit... No, go away. I thought that would be a little bit boring. So I figured we'd do this live, sort of. This is recorded, but we do this as we go on Tribble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up the projects, and we're going to get through all the tiers and then see what traits and what unlocks with each tier as we level up. I thought it'd be a little bit more interesting to see this visually here than just a static image of the blog. So tier 1. So the rep is called Discovery Legends. We have 6 tiers to go through. Tier 1. Actually, let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna start. This is one amazing addition that I like is the fill all button. So at tier 1, we get new captain traits. So we get Arium's Augment, which gives you plus damage over time, and area of effect resistance, which is passive. And then we got Tyler's Memories, which is close range damage increase, which is passive. And then new unlocks. So we unlock the tier 1 passive abilities, which are up here. New store unlocks, so we get very rare purple defensive engineering consoles, very rare projectile tactical consoles, so that's just kind of, I guess, normal stuff. New equipment projects, very rare purple dark matter quantum torpedo launcher, which is part of the Lorca's Ambition space set. And then equipment, very rare purple hostile environment shield, Mark 12, which is the ground set. So I've gone ahead and gotten the dark matter quantum torpedo. These numbers are subject to change. I'm not going to beam up and back down for each thing, but it has 90-degree targeting arc, 3,489.1 kinetic damage. Add a stack of dark matter dissolution, 85 physical damage every 1 second for 10 seconds. Critical strikes will add 2 stacks instead, and then plus 4% critical chance, 8-second recharge on that. And then for the we actually don't really have much details, so we'll have to wait. And here's the stats for the hostile environment shields, which is ground shields that you can acquire after finishing tier 1. Hostile environment mark, I guess that's 13, cap times 4, 436.1 maximum shield capacity, 10% bleed through, rapidly regenerates after not taking damage for 3 seconds, 2 seconds if you're crouching, expose and slow nearby enemies when shields break, plus 30% physical damage when shields aren't full, plus 20% run speed when shields are full. So nice. I think that would actually be kind of interesting to use on the ground. I could actually see myself using that one. But let's claim tier 2. I totally forgot to look at the specs of the ground shield there. This is first time trying to do this in this format. All right, so with Discovery Legends tier 2 completed, you get new captain trait, which is Arium's Efficiency. You get plus damage over time and area of effect resistance, which is passive. And then you get Saru's Grace, controlling enemies, stacks, damage, and speed buff. New unlocks, so you get the tier 2 passive abilities, which are these two here. New store unlocks, you get defensive science consoles. New equipment projects, so you get equipment, very rare purple non-baryonic matter deflector. So it's part of this Stamets Antilles Ingenuity space set, and then you also get very rare purple phasers dual heavy beam bank Mark 12 space set, part of the Lorca's Ambition space set. So let's take a look at those specs real quick. I actually have the deflector right here. So the deflector, so at Mark 12, plus 17.5 Starship Shield Restoration, plus 35 Starship Hull Capacity, plus 26.2 Starship Shield Capacity, and plus 20 Torpedo Damage Resistance. So for me personally, I run an EPG, like gravity well boat. I don't think that's something that I would swap my current deflector out for, but somebody else might find a use for it. And we have some details here for a set of 3 of the 4. Your first weapon attack against each target, fire a bolt of mycelial energy at them, dealing 30.3 electrical damage, scaling with your maximum hull. Interesting. Skills that affect this ability is Starship Weapons Training. Improves all weapon damage. And then the other thing that got unlocked, this is going to get harder and harder to keep track of as we level up. So the dual heavy beam banks. So phaser wide angle dual heavy beam banks comes with crit H times 3 in damage. They have 135 degree targeting arc. You get plus 10% critical severity when you use them to target 567.8 phaser damage. I feel that number just doesn't matter because that number is going to change depending on your setup and what buffs you have. If you have phaser consoles, that number is going to increase. So going forward, I'm not going to worry too much about the actual phaser damage that these things do because it's all subjective and based solely on what is equipped on your ship. But what we will look at is all the other stuff. So minus 12 weapon power to self when this weapon is firing. And then to target, there's a 2.5% chance one random subsystem offline for 5 seconds, plus 6% critical chance 1 second recharge. So I don't think there's anything really too special about this. Like the chance of a random subsystem going offline is pretty much the same as all phasers. Like that's the phaser trait. Looking up here at a different phaser, I think the only real difference is maybe the critical severity again, but I'm looking at one that's epicked out, so not entirely sure, but those are the specs. Let's head over to Tier 3. Alright, so Tier 3 is completed. New captain traits. We had Saru's Vigor. Controlling enemies stacks damage and speed buff, which is something I think I will probably be using or trying out with my control build. Landry's Tenacity. Critical hits cleanse debuffs. Ooh. New unlocks. So we have the Tier 3 passive abilities that we just talked about. New store unlocks. Very rare purple support engineer consoles. Very rare purple energy tactical consoles. New equipment projects. Very rare Mycelial wave impulse engines, which is part of the Stamets and Tilly's Ingenuity space set. And then very rare purple mind meld device, which is ground set and part of Burnham's Resolve. So let's go check those out really quick. So here's the mind meld device. So it comes Mark 13, control D times 2, damage times 2, sus manha? I don't know if I said that right. Martial arts finishers are devastating and palm strikes is replaced by engage. See more details in this item. So jab, basic melee attack, which has 40% critical severity, and punch, basic melee attack, 40% critical severity, 60% chance of negative 66% run speed for 4.5 seconds. Let's go to more details like it said, or not. So we have the device, more details. Engage replaces palm strike. It rapidly closes the distance to a targeted enemy. The first time each enemy is engaged, the ability also roots them for several seconds. And then martial arts finishers are massively improved. Combined fist, 700% base damage, knocks up, exploits. Haymaker, 600% base damage, knockdown, exploit. Spin kick, 400% base damage, knocks back, always exposes. Snap kick, 500% base damage, always exposes, knocks back. Knife hand chop, 500% base damage for strikes and damage over time, exploits. Disables enemies for 4 seconds, max once per 30 seconds per enemy. So if you have 2 pieces, you have exploiting enemies, reduces their physical resistance by 25% for 15 seconds. And then if you have the 3 piece, which is the hostile environment shield that you get at Tier 1, the mind meld device that we got here at Tier 3, and the Burnham's CQC suit. I don't think we've unlocked that yet. Combo finishers heal 20% of your health. Combo finishers recover 10% of kit module cooldown. Skills that affect this ability, none. So that is that. The other thing that we unlocked, was the Mycelial Wave Impulse engines. So when you equip, you get plus 12 shield power during combat, plus 12 engine power outside of combat, plus 16 flight speed. Combat impulse engines are faster than other engines while at low engine power. All impulse engines increase their speed and turn rate with your engine power level. And you get plus 7.7 flight turn rate, plus 20.6 full impulse flight speed, full impulse all power to engines, plus 150.1 flight speed, diverts all power to engines. So that's pretty much the same. We have that over here. Just quickly check out. Yeah, it still has just the 3 set thing. So it might just be missing, like we're not seeing the 2-piece. I can't remember if there was a 2-piece from the blog. The blog had a lot of information. But yeah, let's continue on the road to tier 4. All right, so we're at tier 4. At tier 4 in the reputation, you get new captain traits. So you get Tyler's Duality, which gives you plus critical chance based on hull capacity, which is passive, and Landry's Loyalty, which critical hits cleanse debuffs. New unlocks, so captain abilities, you get the tier 4 passive abilities that we just talked about. New store unlock, purple support science consoles, Mark 12. New equipment projects, very rare, purple, Mycelial Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core, Mark 12. Space set, part of the Stamets and Tilly's Ingenuity, not usable by warbirds. Equipment, very rare, purple, Mycelial Harmonic Singularity Core, which can be used by warbirds. Equipment, very rare, purple, Universal Kit Module, Mud's Time Device. And equipment, very rare, purple, Universal Kit Module, Gravity Containment Mark 12. So let's take a look at the new equipment here. All right, so there's the new Universal Console, Gravity Containment Unit. Cone AoE shield damage, pull enemies towards you and knock them down. Deals 291 physical damage, improved by up to 300% by the distance the target is pulled. And then there's 11.1 second recharge. And then we have Mud's Time Device, save self from death. Apply a buff lasting 90 seconds that, if you would die, instead you return to where you were when you activated the device, heal, lose all threat, and the effect ends. If you use a kit module, cause other kit modules to recover cooldown equal to 15% of the used kit module's recharge time. And then this kit module has a 1 minute 30 second recharge on it. So pretty cool. Then the other thing we had was the Mycelial Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core. The Singularity Core isn't showing. Oh, probably because I'm not on a Romulan. All right, so when you have this slotted, you get plus 7.5 additional shield power. Bonus increases at low shield power. Plus 5 maximum shield power. Allows your shields to exceed 125. Plus 0 hull capacity. 0.5 per shield power. Plus 20, I'm guessing that number would change if we're up in space. Plus 20% slipstream speed. Plus 100% slipstream turn rate, 50% reduced cooldown on transwarp, slipstream drive recharges 100% faster, adds 7.5% of your shield power to your weapon power as a bonus power, and plus 3.3% all damage per subsystem with 75 or more power. Current total plus 0%, probably because it's not attached to my ship right now. So the Singularity Core for the Romulans, maximum warp factors 12.34, whereas the Matter Antimatter Core is max 9.97. But back to the Romulan, plus 5 to 15 shield power based on your Singularity charge level, plus 0 hull capacity, so that's the same, plus 20% slipstream speed, so that's the same, plus 100% slipstream turn rate, 50% reduced cooldown on transwarp, and slipstream drive recharges 100% faster. And then you get improved Singularity Overcharge. While Singularity Overcharge is active, you gain 20% crit severity. Singularity Battery Capacitor. which is auxiliary power buff, drains your singularity power to augment your auxiliary power, repairs disabled auxiliary systems, gives up to 30 auxiliary power based on your singularity level, 4-minute recharge. So that is that. Did we do the engines? Yeah, we did the engines. All right, let's go to tier 5. All right, so we've finished out tier 5, and if you're noticing the inventory, no, you're not crazy. I was actually cleaning up. Yeah. So we have a new captain trait, tethered non-baryonic asteroid, towed AoE pull plus kinetic damage. The new unlock, so it's a tier 5 active ability. We'll take a look at that in space after we've finished out tier 6 and take a look at the shield visuals. New equipment projects, so equipment very rare purple, Burnham's CQC armor. Equipment very rare purple, Burnham's CQC environmental suit. Very rare purple, Tilly's review pending modified shield. Which is part of the Stamets and Tilly's Ingenuity space set. And then very rare purple console, a tactical console, Lorca's Custom Fire Controls Mark 12, which is a space set. So let's take a look at those right now. So Burnham's CQC armor. We don't have a visual linked just yet for this. So the armor gives you plus 84 physical damage resistance, plus 84 kinetic damage resistance, plus 98 energy damage resistance, plus 63.8 maximum hit points, plus 10% critical chance, plus 40% critical chance, jeez, okay, plus 15% physical damage, plus 10% run speed, plus 100 willpower. Resistant to ground control effect. Then we got the environmental suit, so plus 84 physical kinetic damage resistance, plus 98 energy damage resistance, plus 63.8 maximum hit points, plus 10% critical chance, plus 40% critical severity, plus 15% physical damage, plus 10% run speed, plus 100 willpower. It seems the same as the armor. Reaction thrusters, space jump to navigation point up to 45 meters away, and environmental protection. All right, so the next thing that also unlocked. All right, so there's a tactical console called Lorca's Custom Fire Controls. So let's look at this real quick. When you have this equipped, you get plus 3.4% critical chance, plus 6.8 weapon power settings, plus 33.8 Starship shield penetration, and then improved shield penetration for Starship weapons. I don't think if you're after boosting your shield pen your shield pen numbers, then this might be the one to go for you. But I don't see myself using that in any real builds for my playstyle, which is mostly crowd control and tanking. The other thing that unlocked is the shield, which we'll be taking a look at the shield visual after this. I'll go to the Solanae Dyson Sphere and we'll take a look at visuals. So when you have this slotted, 8,375.7 maximum shield capacity, 10% bleed through. Again, these numbers are subject to change because I'm on the ground and it's all based on what you have slotted, yada, yada, yada. 204 shield regen every 6 seconds, plus 10% hull capacity. Your weapon attacks cause enemy shields to receive 10% increased damage for 10 seconds, based on shield power. So those are the two new things. Let's work our way towards tier 6 now. So before I finish the tier 6 project and everything goes to rank 2, I just want to look at the passive traits that we get from tier 1 to tier 5. And I'll read off the stats real quick, and then I'll do it again for rank 2, and then you can flip-flop. We can see what the differences are. So we're looking at space reputation to start. So Arium's efficiency, which gives us the plus damage over time and area of effect resistance. This one is plus 31.4 damage over time resistance, plus 31.4 area of effect damage resistance. Landry's loyalty, critical hits cleanse debuffs. Outgoing critical hits cleanses 1 random debuff. Alright, so only 1. The initial wording that I read made it think like a cleansed them all, but just 1. And then there's Saru's Grace, controlling enemy stack damage and speed buff. So control powers, so like gravity well, Add stack to self, plus 1% damage and speed. I don't know if that's something I would use, but worth giving it a try. Here's Tyler's Duality, plus critical chance based on hull capacity, plus 1% critical chance based on hull capacity, max 6% at 200,000 hull capacity. Skills that affect this ability, none. Okay, that's high hull capacity, holy crap. Alright, let's take a look at ground. So Arium's Augment, so that's plus damage over time and area of effect resistance on the ground, plus 31.4 damage over time, plus 31.4 area of effect damage resistance. No, sorry, that was plus 31.4 damage over time resistance. My bad. Should probably read the entire sentence before moving on. There's Landry's Tenacity, which is critical hits, cleanse debuffs, outgoing critical hits, cleanse 1 random debuff. So it looks like the ground is just pretty much a copy-paste of the space traits. Saru's Vigor, control powers, add stack to self, plus 1% damage and speed. Okay. Alright, so let's go finish tier 6. Tier 6, so all the captain ranks from tier 1 to tier 5 are all now rank 2. We'll take a look at those in a second. The active space trait is also becoming rank 2. Tier 6 unlock on Reputation Flourish, so we can show off. Plus 2% bonus damage for set weapons from this reputation. New projects, so we have alternate energy type weapons, space and ground, reputation vanity shields, color variant, claim an account wide gear discount for this reputation, claim a fleet module, and claim a captain skill retrain token. So let's look at, we're going to look at the alternate energy weapon types real quick. Okay, so we have disruptor, dual heavy beam bank weapons, pretty much the same stats as the whatchamacallit, the phaser beam array, except the phaser beam arrays have the 2.5% chance to knock out a subsystem. They both have critical severity 10%, 6% critical chance, 10% critical severity, 6% critical chance. Okay, and that looks like that was it. So let's take a look at traits. Starship Traits. No, space reputation. My bad. So these numbers are going to be the same for space and ground, so I won't go through two. So this is 39.3 for damage over time resistance and area of effect damage resistance. That was up from 34.1. Going off the top of my head here. Let's scroll down to Landry's Loyalty. Outgoing critical hits, cleanse 1 random debuff, so nothing changed there. Saru's Grace, control powers, add stack to self, plus 1% damage and speed. Nothing changed there either. Interesting. So again, this is Tribble, so these are all subject to change. 1.3% critical chance based on hull capacity, plus 7.5% at 200,000 hull capacity. Alright, and let's take a look at the Starship Trait. Oh, sorry, no. Let's look at the reputation trait. Oh, there it is. Tethering non-baryonic asteroid. Details. Spawn a non-baryonic asteroid tethered behind your ship. Oh, we forgot to look at this before I went to rank 1, but that's okay. Which drags enemies towards it and deals kinetic damage over time. Chase range 3 kilometers. Only occurs in certain circumstances. Okay. Skills that affect this ability. Starship EPG, Exotic Particle Gen, Starship Control Expertise, Starship Weapon Training, and Starship Projectile Weapon. Okay, so I'm going to unslot that and slot that just to get it ready. Alright, so I slotted the environmental suit. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, wow. That's pretty crazy. Cool. All right, let's beam up and go to the Solanae Dyson Sphere. All right, so here we are in the famed Solanae Dyson Sphere, where I like to do all my visual reviews, and we're gonna take a look at the space set and apply it to the ship and see how it looks. So let's start off with we'll just go visuals, and let's start with the T5 rep shield. So there we go. Interesting. This kind of reminds me of the... Let me get in closer so you can see. This kind of reminds me of the T6. I want to say the Dyson sphere. But you can see the effect there on the side of the hull. It's kind of like a little... I don't know how to describe it, but that's what it looks like. Let's add the deflector. Oh, okay, so it doesn't look like the deflector has a... it doesn't look like the deflector has a animation tied to it. As you can see, when you right-click, you should have the option to disable the visual, and it doesn't have one. So I don't know if it was meant to do that, or if it's just not put in a tribble yet. I guess that's something I can keep an eye on. But before we go anywhere, let's see if the impulse engines... Guess that'd help if I went back here. So the impulse engines... Actually, let's move. So right now we have a red glow. Doesn't seem like anything really changed with the impulse engines. No. So this is the T5 shield. Here is the T6 shield. The T6 vanity shield. That looks actually pretty funky. I like that. I kind of like that a lot. That looks really good. Okay, one other thing I wanted to take a look at is we're going to equip the torpedo, and we're going to try out this tethered non-baryonic asteroid trait. Oh, there we go. We got a target right there. So let's turn ourselves around. I just need something small to shoot at. If they would stop going away, that'd be amazing. Oh, here they come. We'll go for this one here and fire. So that's the dark matter torpedo. Oh, let's try it again. Huh, pretty cool. Let's go find some more targets and try out the tethered asteroid thingy. Alright, so we're in the contested zone. Let's just go over to that point there. I actually want to try Gravwell 3 on this dark matter laced quantum torpedo and see what that looks like. I think that would look pretty crazy. Oh, here comes our targets. Ooh, a lot of targets. Armed torpedo and fire. Oh, that was my gravimetric. That's not what I wanted it to do. Okay, let's deploy the asteroid. So there's the asteroid there. I guess it's gone now. And I died. Well, we got to see it a little bit there. We did see all the things getting pulled in towards it. The effects of that will vary from build to build. I am set up for a control build, so my gravity wells are set up to pull from foes within 8.3 kilometers each second. That seems low. I had that up near 10 at one point, from what I remember. I must be missing something on this build, but that's fine. Yeah, so that's that. But that will do it for this video. I know it was a little bit longer. I've never really covered an entire new reputation before, so this was a little bit new for me. But I hope you enjoyed the format, going tier by tier and looking at the specs, even though numbers do change. This is on Tribble, and this isn't live yet, so things are still subject to change. And numbers are also dependent on how your ships or your characters are spec'd and all that. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Please If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. And let me know in the comment section your thoughts on anything. There was a lot covered. Yeah, I got nothing else. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.